Hello again. Welcome to my part 5 of presentation. As I refer to the part 4, we discuss about tabulation or as a part of data presentation. Now I'm in graphical representation of data and highlighted the theory part of it. Now I'm to discuss the practical part of it and draw the curves and the graph. I highlighted before bar charts, pie chart, histogram, and many other graphs that you may need to construct. I'll give a directives on what to be done. So I'll start with the bar chart. Now bar chart data is a data presented in a series of bars. When you have a data then presented in a series of bars, that's what is known as what? Bar chart. Now on the bar chart, we have three types of bar charts. Number 1, we have a simple bar chart. Number 2, component bar charts. Number 3, multiple bar chart. So simple bar chart, component bar chart, and multiple bar chart. Now the simple bar chart, in simple bar charts, data is represented in a series of what? Bars, just a single series. For example, this is an example of a simple bar chart. So the single bar, these are what we call the bar. Then with component bar chart, they are like a simple bar chart, the same category, but now with component bar charts, they are subdivided into components. So this is what we call a component bar charts. You see the same single bar, but they are now subdivided into what? Components. So we have component 1, component 2, and component 3. Then we are having multiple bar charts. In this chart, the component figures are shown as separate bars, bar charts adjoining each other. So with multiple now, we separate each one of them. Like unlike component bar chart, all the components are in the same bar, but with multiple, now each bar will be on its own. So this is an example of what? A multiple bar charts. I'll explain further when I'll be doing one question. Number 2, we talk about pie chart. I'll define then I'll do the practical part of it. Now pie chart is a circle divided by radial lines into sections so that the area of each section is proportional to the size of the figure represented. A pie chart is a circle divided by radial lines into sections so that the area of each section is proportional to the size of the figure represented. Also, I'll explain more about pie chart and I'll give the formula of calculating each and every component when we start doing the pie chart. This is just a definition of a pie chart. Then I'm done with the pie chart and the bar graph. Now I'll give one example for the bar graph or bar charts. Then I'll come to the pie chart, then histogram, and so on and so forth. Now this is our example. I just want to talk about whatever I've talked about here. That is simple bar chart, component bar chart, and multiple bar charts. Now let's read the example. Let me take it to example 1. As per this. Now XYZ Limited Company are manufacturer of 3 products. XYZ Limited are manufacturer of 3 products, i.e. biscuits, breads, and cakes. Their sales over a period for 4 years were as follows. So we have the column of the years, we have the column sales for biscuits, we have the column sales for bread, and the column for sales for cake. Then the total across each and every row. I continue to the question. From this table below, construct how to draw. Now from the table above, we are started to draw what? Simple bar chart, multiple bar charts, and component bar charts. So from this table, we draw simple bar charts, multiple bar charts, and components bar charts. So let's start with simple bar charts. Now with simple bar charts, let me erase this other side. Hope you have already followed it. Now with simple bar chart, it's just the normal graph. And we also know the features of a graph. So normal graph with x and y axis. So for example, with our simple bar chart, from the question we have the sales of the product and what? the year, meaning on our x-axis, you're supposed to be having years. Then on our y-axis, you're supposed to be having what? Sales. Then another thing, we must choose an appropriate scale on the y-axis. We need to choose an appropriate scale on the y-axis. Now, how are we going to do that? So this is what we are going to do. Now, upon checking the total, we'll add the total of each and every column. Then the one with the highest margin, that is to 60. Then we'll check on the entire table, the one with the smallest value, that will be 30. So we have values that range from 30 to 260. So we can use this one now to come up with appropriate scale. So based on your y-axis, when you look at this value, it's a number with a cipher. Same to your minimum, the maximum value is a number with what? A cipher. So in order for us to come with appropriate scale, I think we'll take one box to be what? Probably 50. So that we also don't draw a long graph and we don't have that enough board. So here it will be 50, then followed by 100, 150, 200, 250, then 300. Why 300? Because our minimum maximum value is what? 260, so you can be captured there. Then from there now we now label our graph. So it is XY Limited, a manufacturer of 3 products, i.e. biscuit, bread, and cakes. Their sales for the period, blah blah blah. So how do we now name our charts, our graph? So we can name it maybe the sales. Sales for. You can name it sales for confectionaries for the period of 4 years. Then the y-axis will be years. Now we'll deal with it the same way it is. So let's say the first year is 2004. And the second year is 2005, followed by 2006, then 2007. Now one thing while constructing a bar chart, now the bar must not begin at the point. It must give a space in between. You must have a space in between the bars. Now this is what we are going to do. Now we'll check the value now across on the column, each and every what? Column. For example, if it is 204, now with the 204, we have in the value of biscuits, the value of bread, and the value of what? Cake. Now we'll get the summation number there, the total of these ones. So 50 plus 80 plus 40 will give us what? 170. So meaning our first bar for 204 will be equivalent to what? 170. So we are going to measure 170. So I'll approximate it because I don't have the exact graph board. So approximately 170 will be probably here. 170 will be probably here. Let's say this is 2004. So you see there are space in between the bar and the origin of the graph. Then, that's now we're doing the 2004. Now with the 2005, we'll get here 2005. Now we'll check also across. Now biscuit is 60, bread is 100, cake is 50. Now we'll get their total, that is 60 plus 100 plus 50, that's 210. So our bar will be up to what? 210 for 205. So 210 will be probably, if he has 200, then 210 will probably be here. So let me sketch it. 210. So it will probably be there. 210. Then 206. Let's give a space then here. Let's indicate it to be 206. Then also we'll get the total. That's 70 plus 110 plus 30 also 210. So we'll do another one. The same level of the bar. Then 207. 207. Now our total will be what? 260. So 260 will probably be here. So this will be years. Then this will be sales in what? Maybe thousands or whatever units they are. So this is how the graph. the graph is well labeled, and all the axes are labeled, and all the bars are well indicated. Now with a simple bar graph, you don't add anything, we just draw the bar the way they are. And that's the example what I did here. And now this is what we call a simple bar chart. This is what we call simple bar charts. So there being no any other further question, I'll proceed to multiple bar charts. Now, I need to note below that there is no difference between simple bar charts and a multiple bar chart. Now, the smallest difference between simple bar chart and multiple bar chart is, now with the component, each bar will be subdivided into groups, or into components. We'll subdivide each bar. For example, the same values of 2004 will plot them based on what? The total value. So the same will plot for the component. If here, our total will be 170, the same as the other one to remain 170, followed by 210, followed by 210, followed by 260. As per the total in the what? In the table. Now with the component, labeling will be just the same. But now the difference comes here now how to partition each and every bar to form the component. Now this is how we are going to partition the bar. And I need to be very keen. Now we start with the 2004. Now we have checked the total is 170. But now from to 170, before I proceed, there's something I need to show. Now when we construct a component bar chart, we must have a key. So we come up with what? A key. So this will be our key. We have the part of biscuits. Let's start with biscuits. Let's biscuit be presented by what? A hollow space. And followed by what? Bread. Let the bread be presented by what? In this cross section. Then lastly is cake. Let our cake be presented by what? By this. So this is what we call the key for the graph. So in order for us to construct a component bar chart, we must have what? The key, which will identify each and every component. So let's start with biscuits. Now for the year 2004, biscuit was 50. The sales for biscuit were 50. So we come here, then we measure 50. From the same bar of the total 170. So we'll come here and where 50 is, we subdivide it. Then we check in our key. Now in our key it is just space alone. There is no any other thing. Or perhaps let me dot it. Let's leave it that way. Then followed by the same year for bread were 80. Now this is what you do. Now you will add the value of biscuit and bread. So 50 plus 80, that will give us what? 130. So meaning we'll count 130 from the origin, or we'll count 80 from 50. Which when we count 80 from 50, it will bring us what? To 130. But if we start from the origin, now we'll add the 50 plus 80, then count it from the origin, that will be 130. Meaning if this is 50, then 6, 70, 100, 110, 120, 130. So 120, that will probably here. So then we'll subdivide it. We'll what? Subdivide it. Then we'll color it as per the key. We'll color it as per the key. Meaning the remaining will be what? 40. So if the total is 170, then the first part I took 50, the second part 80. Meaning 50 plus 80, that is what? 130. 130 minus 170 remains what? 40. So meaning the remaining part will be 40. And we will now color it as per the key. Then we go to the next second bar again. So it's just a repetition. Now this will be our second bar. That was 60. Then after 60, 100. Then after 100, then we have what? 50. Then third bar the same. It is 70, 110, then 70, 110, then 30. Then the last bar to corner, and I start with biscuit at 90. Then cake at 120. Then the remaining bread at 120, then cake at what? 50. So this is what we call a component bar chart. This is what we call a component bar chart. Now let's go to the multiple bar charts. Let's go to the multiple bar charts. I'll just give one example per each and we'll refer to whatever I've already done. Now everything will remain. In the case of the multiple bar charts, now everything is going to remain, the labeling and everything is going to remain, also the keys are going to remain. But now the difference now between multiple bar charts and component bar chart is, with component we were still using the total of each, the three products, then we subdivide them as per the amount of each and every product, then we were to shade as per the key. But now with the multiple bar charts, we are not now going to use the total. Instead, we are going to use each and every product the way they are. For example, in 204, the first part was what? Biscuit, and biscuit was 50. So we came here up to 50, then we draw just a bar. Then followed by the second product, bread, which was 80. So we draw 80 from the point. Now then we join it from the point. Now 80 will be probably here, so now 80 will be here. Then followed by cake, which is 40, so 40 will probably be here. Then we color them as they are. This one will be this cross-sectional one, then this one will be these boxes. So you see, now this is what we call our component. Now see the difference between multiple and what? Component. With the component, we subdivide it into the same what? Bar. But now with multiple, each and every product will have its own bar. This is the difference between what? The component bar charts and the multiple bar chart. As I've drawn here, you can follow it so keenly. You see each and every component has its own bar. So the first one is for the biscuit, followed by the bread, then cake. 205 the same biscuit, bread, cake. 205 Shakespeare biscuit, bread, cake. Then 207 the same biscuit, bread, and cake. So each and every component will have its own bar. But with component bar chart, the same bar will be subdivided to fit the entire component. So without many remarks, thank you. As I end part 5 of my presentation, I plan to see you in the part 6 of my presentation, where I'm going to show you how to do pie chart, histogram, probably ogive curve, and frequency polygon. But some I'll give them as an assignment. Thank you.